Alright, so now I'm at Michael's. I just got here. We're getting ready to work on the two cars. I'm putting my gauge cluster in like I said, and then he's doing all this fun welding. Check this out. Oh yeah, buddy. So explain why you're doing this.
Because the car got hit and like everything from here on was like just crunched.
Yeah.
And re-recated and put on new fender.
Yeah, so it's a whole new fender. This was all smashed. This is all smashed, so it had to pretty much shave and fill everything until it's kind of smooth. So yeah, so he'll start welding on this, and then once Uncle gets here with food, because I'm hungry, I'll start putting in my gauges and working with that. So yeah. Alright, so skip ahead a week and I'm back at my house with the truck. As you could probably tell, I put the original gauge cluster back in it. The reason being is because I had to go to work, so I couldn't get the wiring done. The reason being is because I was looking for the wiring harness, but apparently for a 71, it's like absolutely impossible to find the wiring diagram for the gauge cluster plug and what all the wires do, because each year it's changed, it's different. So it took us 4 hours to find that, and I called one of my friends and he sent it to me. I finally got that 15 minutes before I was supposed to go to work, so that didn't happen. So tomorrow will be a week from when I was originally doing it. So tomorrow is when they're actually going in, because now I have the wiring diagram. I know what every wire does. Should take us 30 minutes to put these gauges in. But because the gauge cluster needs to come out to put my dash on, I'm going to skip and do the dash now. So I'm going to be pulling the gauge cluster out and putting the black leather dash on top of the dash cover there. So I have my black one inside. I'm gonna there's one of the tabs broke off, and use some JB Weld and fix that, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it on top. I'm just gonna install the dash with the stock gauge cluster, drive it down there, change the gauge cluster. So yeah, the rest of this video is just the dash and the gauges. So yeah, let's get started. So here's the dashboard. This is an original black dash out of a 72 Camper Special, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's an F250 this came out of, but it's really, really nice for being an all original one. The leather's still not hard, you know. The only really damage is up here in the, I guess, speaker or vent or whatever. It's got this little crack you can see going down it, but I mean the other side the other side's just as nice. I mean there's one small crack there, and go around it, it's perfect. So this is going to go in, so this should be nice. So starting off from where I was, the dash has to go on here, so I have to take this out, obviously, but sadly. The glove box has to come out, gauge cluster has to come out, so I can get in there, and I can actually make sure all the mounts are good and solid. So yeah, I'm going to start pulling out the glove box and the gauge cluster first, and then it should pop in all these holes. I had one bracket that I had to, or one mounting point that had broken off that I had to JB Weld back on. So I'm hoping that went in the right spot. So we'll just see. So yeah, I'll start putting everything on and we'll keep going from there. Alright, so the dash is now in. I went ahead and tightened everything so it's not going anywhere. There's still kind of a small finger length gap all the way around the front of it. I really don't like that. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it has to do with the seal shrinking or the dash itself shrinking, maybe from not being in a car for a couple months, or a truck, but I'm not sure about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the glove box in, the dash cluster back in, see what it looks like. I was kind of pissed that little bracket that broke off, that I JB welded back off, or that I JB welded back on, broke off again, and now that side of the dash just kind of like hangs there, right where the gauge cluster sits. I'm hoping that the gauge cluster sits on this little lip, hoping that that will kind of hold it down. But yeah, I'll go ahead and start putting the glove box in and the gauge cluster back in. So I got the dash in now. Everything's all tightened up. I think it looks pretty good. It fits really well. The seam, it fits so perfectly around the dash, not around here. And that clip that fell off is right here. Yeah, you can see it right there. It fell out. It broke off. I'll probably fix that later. I'm not really worried about it because the dash stays in pretty solid. But yeah, it should be down like that. That's pretty much where it should be. So, but the rest of it's perfect. I'm loving how it looks. I think it looks great. I didn't even check if yeah, gauges still work cool. So, alrighty. So I'll pick the video back up tomorrow when the actual gauges are going in. So yeah, see you there. Alrighty. So it's the next day. We're gonna head down, get my gauges put in. Hopefully today. That should be good. That's kind of been the purpose of this video. And then work on the Mustang some more. So yeah, it should be fun.
One time my car will probably do daily vlogs.
I know, same. Where are you going? It's not going to the yo-yo. Oh, he's going to the Alrighty, so this is kind of what I'm dealing with as of right now. The gauge cluster is in, nothing works. The only thing that works is the speedometer because it's mechanical. All the gauges have power, but because each one is ganged together, they was originally ganged together, we just wired them a specific way. They don't read the proper amounts, so that means each gauge has to be wired individually, which we did do, but the way that the actual cluster itself is wired is a little weird, so we're going to start completely over and redo them all. But they look awesome. Check these things out. Let's see if I can get some better light. Just look at these things. And then I got some jewels, the blue and the red jewels. Those are for my turn signals and high beams. Those all work. and those were off of Speedway motors. They were just little 5/16 jewel LEDs. You can get them in pretty much any color. But yeah, here's the best part. Check this out. Oh yeah, that's cool. These things. Can you imagine just sitting here? Oh yeah. This is going to be so much fun. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Sorry if it was short, long, or boring. I haven't really looked at the clips too much to see what I got to work with. But the next video you see the gauges, they'll be all working and functional. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.